So welcome everybody, welcome to class, welcome to practice, welcome to yoga. I was just reading this beautiful passage from the Bhagavad Gita, just this simple sloka from chapter 2, and it just really sums up, the whole message of yoga, which is when your mind, which has been tossed about by conflicting opinions and thoughts, becomes still and centered in equilibrium, then you experience yoga. So let me read that one more time. When your mind, which has been tossed about by conflicting opinions and thoughts, becomes still and centered in equilibrium, then you experience yoga. So that's what we're looking to achieve with our practice. Ultimately, of course, we want physical strength and flexibility, but we also want a mind that is centered in equilibrium so that we're not so reactionary to the world around us. So please switch the cross of your legs. Make sure that your shins are crossed right at the very center. And have your feet soft. Make sure to put any padding under your ankles so you feel comfortable. One of the names of this pose is Sukhasana, which means happy seat. So you should feel happy in this seat, relatively. Okay, now spread the backs of your thighs outwards and pull the buttocks flesh back. And move further down with your sitting bones. Bring your hands right onto your thighs and lift up through the sides of the trunk. Bring your outer shoulders back. Move your back upper neck muscles down. Keep your breastbone lifting, but close your eyes. You can take off any glasses. And just start to settle down from your morning. Bring your full attention to this practice of yoga. Remembering that yoga practice is an act of love. It's a way of taking care of ourselves. It's a way to bring ourselves to that equilibrium state where we find more and more peace. So with your chest lifting well, settle your head down into your heart center. Draw your senses of perception inwards, softening the eyes back, drawing the ears inwards, relaxing the tongue and the jaw, softening all of the skin on your face. Become aware of your breathing, your breath, and allow your breath to become softer and smoother. And bring your hands to your heart center. In prayer pose, Namaskar-asana, lift your chest upwards. And after your next exhalation, take a deeper inhalation. Lift your chest upwards and bow your head downwards. Reaffirm your inner intention to be well, to stay healthy, to stay more balanced in your body and your mind, and to allow this practice of yoga to help you with your inner intention to be well. Release your hands down to your thighs with your palms upwards. Raise your head and then slowly open up your eyes. Okay, welcome again, everybody. Thank you for coming. So switch the cross of your legs once again. Have a block behind you and sit further back on your blankets. Sit further back. So you're almost to the back of those blankets. Okay, and then bring your hands in front of you on your fingertips. Now, if you need the blocks in front of you, you can, of course, have your hands on blocks. But in this position, you want to learn to lift your front ribs upwards and bring your back ribs in. So there's a real lengthening of the front body, and then see if you can maintain that as you walk your hands all the way forward. And then once your hands are all the way forward, let your head come down. And then take deeper inhalations, longer exhalations, and release your thighs down. Draw the abdomen back. Extend the sides of your trunk forward. And see if there's any stiffness in your hips or wherever you might encounter it today. Keep the sides of your trunk lengthening forward. And then bring your hands back. Get nice and tall through the sides of your chest. In fact, to help with that, let's bring the arms upwards. Bring your arms all the way upwards. So move your thighs down and extend up through the sides of the trunk. Those of you who need to, focus on lengthening one side a little bit more than the other side. And then we're going to turn to the right. So turn to the right, and then bring your left hand down onto the outer thigh, and bring your right hand onto the floor or onto that block behind you. Make sure that your right fingernails are going straight backwards. Have a bend of both arms. And as you start to turn first from your tailbone, turn from your abdomen, turn from your ribs, spread your elbows outwards, lift your chin, and then move your dorsal spine into your back. And then come back to the center. That's it. And then let's raise the arms out to the sides this way now. Extend your arms horizontally from your breastbone outwards. Turn your upper arm bones. That's it. And then raise your arms upwards. But go down with your thighs. Go down with your sitting bones. And extend. The straighter you can make your arms, the more extension you're going to get on the sides of the trunk. Shoulder sensitive, anyone who's shoulder sensitive, make your arms more into a V shape. Otherwise, turn towards the left side and then bring your right hand down to your outer thigh and bring your left hand onto the floor or that block behind you. Make sure that your left fingernails are going backwards so that your left shoulder is rolling away from your neck. And now get taller first. Inhale up and then exhale. Turn from your tailbone. Turn from your abdomen, turn from your ribs, spread your elbows outwards, and then move the shoulder blades into the back ribs. Lift your chin a little bit so that your dorsal spine moves inwards, and then turn more, and then come back to the center. Very good. So let's do that one more time on the other side. So switch the cross of your legs. And again, bring your fingertips in front of you. Maybe you're on blocks here. Take whatever height you need. So press your fingertips down, lift your front ribs forward, and bring your back ribs in. And then walk your hands all the way forward. And then bring your head down. And then again, connect with your breath, deeper inhalations, longer exhalations, and direct your breath into any stiffness wherever you find it. Keep the abdomen back. Keep extending the sides of the trunk further and further forward. Breastbone forward. Good. And now walk your hands back. Good. Now interlace your fingers in front of you this way. Turn your palms forwards and go all the way up. If this feels uncomfortable, just have your hands apart like we did the first time. So move the thighs down, straighten the arms, and stretch upwards. Stretch upwards. Outer upper arms in. Good. Now turn towards the right side and then bring your left hand down onto the thigh and bring your right hand onto the block. And then first you have to get taller. So lengthen upwards through all sides of the spine. Descend the thighs and then turn your tailbone, turn your abdomen, turn your ribs. Lift your elbows out, lift your chin, and turn all the way around. Good. Now come back to the center and then interlace your fingers in front of you the less habitual way for you. Turn your palms forwards and go up as you inhale. That's it. Stretch. Just stretch your spine, but descend your thighs. Keep the abdomen back towards the spine. That's it. Now inhale as you exhale, turn to the left and bring your right hand down to the outer knee. Bring your left hand behind you. And then first get tall. Inhale, lift up through all sides of the spine. And then exhale, start at the bottom of your spine, the tailbone, and turn. Turn the tailbone, turn the abdomen, turn the ribs. Spread your elbows out to the sides. Bring the shoulder blades back. Move the shoulder blades in to the back ribs. Lift your chin and turn all the way around. And then come back to the center. Good. And then just take a moment and feel that warmth that comes from just very simple movements done well. Okay, now stretch out your legs and press the fronts of your thighs into the backs of your thighs. And then come onto your back and we'll do our leg movements. So you can lie down on your back. You can have, of course, a blanket for the head, if that's better for you. Okay, and then have your belt handy. Just have it be a singular belt. But also have a bolster or some props or something, a block outside your right hip. Just come right outside the right hip. Okay, and then we'll start in this position, Ekapada, Parsvottanasana. So once you have your lower back elongated and you have your chest lifted and the back of the neck long, then just interlace your fingers around the front of the right shin and extend your left leg all the way out. And focus on that left leg. Reach the left ankle away from the left thigh and reach the left thigh away from the left abdomen. And if you feel any discomfort in your knee, of course, interlace the fingers on the back of the thigh, the right thigh. See if there's any tightness hiding in your groin today, the right groin. Keep your shoulders lifted, or your shoulders moving back rather into the floor, and your chest lifted. Good. Now put the belt on the bottom of your right foot and take your right leg up. Extend that right leg up. And just come to a place where your right leg can be straight. So bring the right foot directly above the hip, unless you need to slant your right leg a little bit away from your chest to get your leg fully extended. But focus on your left leg. Press the inner left thigh down. Keep moving the front of your left thigh into the back of that left thigh. And then do the same thing with your right thigh. Move the front of the right thigh into the back of the right thigh. Push up into that belt with your right big toe mount. Lift up towards the ceiling with your right inner heel. And then turn your arms so that your inner upper arms lift, your outer upper arms go down, and keep a lift of your chest. And then some of you can start to pull your right foot a little bit closer towards your face, but just make sure that you're not bending the left leg, not bending the right leg. Push the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Good. Now hold on to the belt with your right hand. Make sure you have your support there outside your right hip. Bring your left arm out to the side and then bring your right leg out to the right and receive that support. You can even have your outer right foot on a wall. That feels nice. Or your outer right foot on a chair. And then you can bring your right elbow down to the floor in line with your shoulder. So as you're in the pose, bring more attention to your outer left thigh and your left back waist. So there's no sense of tipping over. Keep reaching out to the left with your left arm. Yes. Push into that belt with your right inner foot and extend that right inner leg. Bring your left hand onto your left hip point for a moment. So your left hip point is the bone of your left hip, the front bone. Press that down, that left hip point down as you extend the right leg to the right. Yeah, so keep that hip down as you extend the right leg to the right. And make sure that your right leg is in line with your right hip. Nice, you guys. Stay even on both sides of the trunk. Move your abdomen to the left. Very good. Now come back to the center. Hold the belt with your left hand. That's it. And you can bring your right hand into your outer right hip region and bring your right leg over to the left a little bit. Bring your right leg over to the left. See if you can bring your right foot any amount up towards your left shoulder, but keep moving your right hip down away from your right shoulder. Yes. Keep your inner left leg moving down, your inner left knee, your inner left thigh. Draw the abdomen back and turn the abdomen back to the right side as you bring that right leg over to the left. Keep rolling that outer right thigh, outer right hip region down. Reach into the belt with your right inner foot. Reach forward with that right inner heel. Nice. Okay, and then come back to the center. There you go. And then just release that leg, that right leg. Just put your belt across your chest or someplace that you can reach for it. Extend your legs outwards, bring your feet hip distance apart, and raise your arms up over your head. If there's no room, just hold your elbows. Hold your elbows around your head. So extend your legs away from your hands or your elbows. Keep the buttocks flesh moving towards the feet. Lift the back ribs up towards your hands. Extend. Good. Now inhale. As you exhale, bring your arms back alongside your body. And then draw the left knee up into the chest. So now the left knee, we're just doing the reverse. Now make sure, one thing I forgot to say is put your support on the left side. Put your support over on the left side, because we'll use that. And then once you've done that, then bring your left knee up into the chest. So the right leg is straight, the right leg is on the floor, and you're pressing it down. Draw the left thigh into the left abdomen. Draw the outer shoulders back and lift your chest. Keep your jaw relaxed, your tongue relaxed. Good. Now let's go ahead and belt that left foot. Place your belt on the little toe mount and the big toe mount of that left foot. Keeping your right leg moving down, take your left leg straight up, right above the hip, unless you need to slant it a little bit away from your chest. Yeah, so Betty, see if you can straighten that leg even more. I'm seeing a bent leg. So straighten your top leg, that left leg. Make it straight, poker stiff. That's it. Even if you have to lean your leg, lean your foot a little bit away from your head and chest. That will help you to straighten your leg. That's it. So press the right leg down. Move the left thigh back away from your left abdomen. So get the direction of your bones. Turn your arms so your inner arms lift upwards towards your face. Your outer shoulders come back. See if you can lift your chest any amount. And then some of you, once you have your legs straight, you can start to pull your left foot a little bit closer in. But the most important thing is that your legs are straight. So pull your left foot closer, but don't bend the leg. And make sure that the bottom of your foot, the left foot, is as if it were walking on the ceiling. It's just flat. Yes, that's it. Good. Now hold on to the belt with your left hand. Bring your right arm out to the side. Make sure you have your support there on that left side. Inhale. And then as you exhale, go slow so you don't tip over. Bring your left leg out to the side and bring your left elbow down to the floor in line with your left shoulder. And then see what's happening. Did your pelvis follow the leg? So as you move your outer right thigh down, you move your back right waist down, move your right arm to the right, lift your chest, and then push into that belt with your left inner foot and extend that left inner thigh outwards. And then bring your right hand onto your right hip point, that bone on the front of your pelvis, and pull it to the right and press it down. So you're separating the pelvis movement from the leg movements. That's it. Stay even on both sides of your trunk. Deepen your breath. Just let your hips open. This is a beautiful hip opening posture. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Make sure that your left foot is up in alignment with your left hip. Good. Now bring your left leg back to the center. Hold the belt with your left hand. Is that right? No, hold the belt with your right hand. I'm sorry. That's it. And bring your, no, I'm wrong. Hold the belt with your right hand. That's it. And bring your left hand into that outer left hip. that outer left hip. So as you bring your left leg over to the right, keep rolling your inner right thigh down. Inhale, lift up through your chest, and then exhale. You can use your left hand to push that outer left hip, outer left thigh region away from your head and your chest. And you should feel some lengthening on the outer band of your left outer leg. Something there. Good. Lift your chest. Make sure that your left foot, you can pull your left foot maybe a little bit up more towards your right shoulder and move your left hip and outer left thigh away from your left shoulder. Turn your abdomen back to the left. Yes. Good. Now come back to the center. And then again, release that leg. And again, stretch your legs outwards and lift your arms up over your head. Just pull your heels away from your fingernails. Pull your thighs away from your upper arms. Get as long and as thin as you can, side to side. If there's no room, of course, just hold the elbows, but make sure that you've switched the cross. Very good. Now inhale. As you exhale, bring both of your knees into the chest and wrap your arms around both legs. So Parsvottanasana. Feel free to have some space between the knees as needed. Keep your lower back moving into the floor, not pulling away from the floor. Draw the back of the abdomen towards the spine. Bring your outer shoulders back, lift your chest, relax your neck. Good. Now keep your knees bent, but bring your feet flat and bring your feet as wide as your shoulders on the floor. And now cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Right ankle over the left thigh, near to the knee. That's it. And then as you do that, notice, did your left hip shift out to the left? Don't let your left hip change. Keep your left hip where it is as you cross that right ankle over the left thigh near to the knee. Good. Now, lift up your left knee towards your chest. Bring your right arm in between your legs and interlace your fingers on the back of that left thigh. That's it. But don't let your left hip go out to the side. So you're holding onto the back of the left thigh. And then sharpen through the inner edge of your right foot. Yes. And keeping your left hip in, inhale. Now, can you move your right knee away from your right shoulder? Any amount? Move the right knee away from the right shoulder. Make sure you're interlacing the fingers in the back of the left thigh. And then some of you can even interlace your fingers on the front of the left shin. You have to see, but keep moving the lower back into the floor. Keep your chest lifting. Keep moving that right knee any amount away from the right shoulder and make the inner edge of your right foot flexed. So there's a sharpness of that right foot. Beautiful. Okay, and then release, and we'll do the other side. So bring your feet flat, shoulder distance apart, and then lift up your left ankle and put it over your right thigh near to the knee. Make sure that your right hip doesn't shift out to the side. Keep that right back waist down. And then cross that left ankle over the right thigh near to the knee, and then sharpen the inner left foot, and then lift up your right thigh, and then interlace your fingers on the back of the thigh, or that's it. Good. Now make sure that your lower back is still moving to the floor. Make sure that your right hip hasn't shifted. Nice. Now inhale. As you exhale with an evenness on both sides of your torso, can you move the left knee any amount away from your left shoulder? Move it away. That's it. Until you might feel some stimulation or some stretching in the outer left region of your hip. And then some of you can hold on to the front of the shin, which increases the intensity of the pose. Please don't do that if you have any knee sensitivity. Keep your lower back down. Make sure that you're not collecting tension in your jaw or your tongue or your face. That's it. Just let your hips open. Super good. Okay, and then go ahead and release that. Bring your feet down. Good. Okay, now some of you might need to look as we'll do this pose now. So watch what I do. I bring my knees up this way, and I bring my arms inside, and I either hold onto my ankles like this, and I'm pulling, my feet are still flexed. Some of you can hold onto the outer edges of your feet. That's it. So the arms are inside. You're either holding onto the ankles or the shins, whatever you can do, or you're holding on to the outer edges of your feet. So go ahead and do that. Make sure that your feet are directly above your knees. Directly above the knees. Hold on to the ankles, hold on to the outer feet, whatever you can manage. That's it. And pull the outer edges of your feet down. So pull the knees down towards your outer ribs, but also make sure that your lower back is moving down. Marian, take your feet wider and turn your hands, hold on to the outer edges of your feet. You got it. That's it. Take your feet as wide as your knees, even wider. There you go. And get that lower back to go down. Rebecca, can you take your legs wider? Take your legs wider. Take your feet wider apart. Lift your feet up. That's the way. Very good, Rebecca. That's it. Yes. And pull downwards. Get the lower back to go into the floor. That's if you can't reach to the feet, just hold the ankles. Nice, Jackie. Very good. Okay, and then go ahead and release that. That's it. Just bring your feet together now. Keep your knees bent and let your knees open out to the sides. So Supta Baddha Konasana. Lift up your arms again. Lengthen your arms up over your head. So bring your feet as close to your pelvis as you can. Press your heels into each other and spread your inner thighs outwards, away from each other. So now we're opening up the inner hips. So all of these movements work the hips in different directions. So your knees are bent, the bottoms of the feet are together on the floor. Baddha Konasana. Now lengthen your lower back. That's it. And extend your arms away from your hips to get as long as you can. And then everybody hold your elbows. Hold your elbows, pull your elbows back, and press your forearms down and lift your shoulder blades up. Press your heels into each other. Keep spreading the inner thighs. And now switch the cross of your arms. Lengthen the sides of your trunk. Make sure that your jaw is relaxed. Good. Okay, and then go ahead and release that. And then bring your knees back together. Let's roll to the side. Let's come onto the hands and the knees now. So come onto your hands and your knees. If you need some support for your knees, make sure to take some support like a folded blanket under your knees. And then some of you will need some support around you. We're going to be doing this pose, which is a stretching pose. So watch, I bring my right foot up to the outer edge of my mat. And then I bring both of my hands inside my right foot. And then I try to bring my arms down. Now, if you can't get your arms down, then you put something under your forearms, like a bolster, or you can use blocks, whatever you have available to you. And you can turn the right foot slightly out. You can turn that right foot slightly out. So bring your arms inside the right knee. That's it. And bring your forearms down. And make sure that both of your arms are down. Don't let one arm be kind of hanging in the space. That's the way. Good. You got it, Geraldine. That's it. And then once you have that, press into the inner edge of your right foot. Some of you can move the left knee further back and just let your hips come forward. You should feel some good stretching in your groin. Point the back left foot. Let your hips come forward. Lift your chest. And let those hips open. Breathe into any tightness you feel in the hips. This is a gravity pose. Make sure that both of your forearms are down equally. Support your arms if they're not. Don't let them be hanging in the space. Good. And then let's come up and we'll do the other side. So come back to your hands and your knees. And now bring your left foot up, out to the outer edge of your mat. You can turn the left foot out a little bit. And then bring both of your arms inside that left leg. And then start to come down onto your forearms. And you can move the right knee further back. Yes. That's it. And then just let gravity bring your hips forward. It's a gravitational pose to help open up the hips. Yes, that's good. So make sure that your left knee is right over your ankle. Keep letting the hips come forward. Some of you can move the back knee further back, but keep letting the hips come forward. That's the way. Good. Okay, and then come up out of that pose. And then go ahead and take a downward facing dog pose. If downward dog doesn't work for you, come up and put your hands onto a wall at the level of your shoulders. Otherwise, take downward facing dog pose. You can take your hands wide and you can take your feet wide for the first downward dog and just stretch your spine upwards. That's it. You can turn your hands outwards. Make sure that your heels are wider than your toes. Again, if downward dog doesn't work for you, put your hands against a wall on the height of your shoulders and walk your feet backwards. Nice. So straighten your arms, lock your elbows in, relax your head so the ears are just in between the arms. Don't hold the head up with the neck. And then move your hips back. Move the hips way, way back. And push the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. Straighten the legs. Keep lifting the hips upwards. Find that evenness on both sides of the spine. Equilibrium, not just in the mind, but in the body. Very good. Okay, and then come down onto the knees for a moment. And then we're going to come up and do Uttanasana. So stand up and we'll do Uttanasana, standing forward bend. So I'll give two variations. So Uttanasana, you take your feet as wide as the sticky mat. And then you come down. And then you take your hands wider and you release your head down. Now, if this isn't good for you, put your hands onto the wall, this time at the level of the waist. Put your hands onto the wall at the level of the waist and do this one instead. Otherwise, take your feet as wide as the sticky mat. That can be for everybody. And either have your hands on the floor, wider than your sticky mat, release your head down. Otherwise, place your hands on a wall. That's good, Rebecca. But straighten the legs. Remember, the feet are just as wide as the sticky mat or as wide as your outer hips. That's it. Take your hands out to the sides. Make sure that your hips don't go backwards. Keep your hips right over your ankles. Pull your kneecaps up. Straighten your legs fully. That's it. Take the hands wide. Take the head down. Super good. Okay, now walk to the wall or bring your hands to the hips and up you come. Okay, good morning again. Come back to your mat. Stand in the center of your mat there. Okay. And just stand with your feet about as wide as your sitting bones. For Tadasana, so bring your hands to the hips. Lift up your toes and move your, spread your toes and shift your body weight back to the front of the heel. Pull your kneecaps upwards, move your thighs back. Bring your middle buttocks forwards and the top of the buttocks down. Lift up through your chest, roll your shoulders back, and then extend your arms downwards. Reach down through your arms. Just look at eye level and lift up through the sides of your neck. So there's a lengthening of all sides of your neck. Lift up through the crown of the head. Keep your jaw soft, your face soft. Very good. Now let's raise the arms forward and up. Urdhva Hastasana. Go all the way up. So press down through your front heels. Reach up through your arms to lengthen the sides of the trunk. Reach up beyond the fingers to lengthen the arms. Straighten the arms. That's it. Now interlace the fingers above you and turn your palms upwards. That's it. Straighten those arms. Move the thighs back. Keep the top of the buttocks moving down and extend upwards. Good. Now bring your arms out to the sides and down. Great. Now let's do that again from the out to the sides. So bring your arms out to the sides. Keep reaching your arms away from the center of your chest. Now turn your arms and then raise your arms all the way up. Go all the way up with your arms. And that's it. With the thighs back, bring the middle buttocks forward and then lift the sides, lengthen the sides of your trunk evenly beyond your fingertips. Now interlace your fingers the less habitual way above you. Turn your palms upwards and straighten the arms. Those of you who can, move your outer upper arms in and move your upper arms back. Get as long and as tall as you can. Nice, Marion, that looks great. And then bring your arms out to the sides and down. Very good. Okay, now, a lot of you will need something in front of you. So you can have a chair or something in front of you. I'll show from this side. So I'll leave that to you. You can either have your hands on the hips or hands on something, because we'll bend the knees. Uttanasana. So you can have your hands on something like this, Uttanasana. So make sure to shift your body weight back into the heels. Move your buttocks down, but lift your chest upwards so you can press into this. You can either have your hands here or here, okay? And then straighten the knees. Okay, so once again, either with your hands on the support or your hands on your hips, straighten your legs, straighten, and then let's bend again. Make sure that you're not the support isn't too far in front, that you have to lean forward. Stand close enough that you can keep your body pretty much upright. So move your shin bones back, move your buttocks down, lift your chest upwards. And some of you can even raise your arms upwards. You can see, maybe you can lift your arms upwards. Uttanasana is the name of the pose. That's it, good. And then straighten your knees and release. Good, so we'll do that one more time. Uttanasana. So either having your hands on your hips or on the support, make sure the support isn't too far forward. You can always get closer. And then bend your knees. That's it, move your shin bones back, move your thighs down, lift your chest upwards, so don't let your chest come forward. And then maybe either bring your hands to the hips and try that, or bring your arms upwards and go all the way up. Yes. And as if there's ropes on the ceiling. Nice. Keep your body weight in the heels. There you go. Legs are together if possible. Good. Now straighten the knees and come up. Very, very good. Okay. So now have your chair or something on this right-hand side for Uttanasana Karmasana. So stand with your feet together, have something there on that right-hand side. Bring your hands to the center of your chest, and then raise your arms up and out, and then step your right foot close to the chair seat, step your left leg out. This can be anything, a table, a bed, whatever you have there to work with. That's it. So make sure that your feet are all the way out under your hands. Press your heels down, spread your inner thighs away from each other. Lift up through the sides of your trunk and spread your arms outwards. Good. Now turn your left foot slightly in. Turn your right leg all the way out. Turn that right leg out. Good. Now reach outwards and bring your right hand down to the chair and bring your left hand onto the support. Rebecca, if you can go any wider, go wider with your feet. Go wider with your feet. If your floor is slippery, turn your mat sideways. Otherwise, just go wider. Good. Now press your heels down, lift your chest upwards, roll your left shoulder back, bring your head back. That's it. So the right buttocks is coming forwards, and some of you can even bring your right hand lower. You can go into the more classic pose. Otherwise, keep your right hand on the chair. That's fine. But don't let your head drop down. And then once you have that, lift up your left arm and straighten your legs, straighten your arms. Yeah, so on this side, Marian, bring that top arm towards the back of your ear. That's it. Lengthen that left side. Perfect. Nice, Katrin, that looks great. Right buttocks forward, left thigh back. Geraldine, you can just keep that left arm up. That's just for Marian, who has to lengthen that left side. These are good, you guys. Very nice. Press your outer left foot and come up out of the pose. Very good. Now turn your right foot in. Bring your hands to the chest and then bring your legs back together. And we'll bring the chair to the other side to do the other side. So put your chair on the left-hand side. Bring your feet together. And then raise your arms up and out. And take your left foot out near to the chair. And step your right leg out. All the way out. Good. So make sure the feet are all the way out under the hands. Press your heels down. Pull your kneecaps up. And move the thighs back. But move your middle buttocks forwards and lift your breastbone upwards. Extend your arms outwards. Now take a deeper inhalation. As you exhale, turn your right foot slightly in. Turn your left leg all the way out. So it's really turned. That's it. And then start to reach out and bring your left hand down to the chair and bring your right hand onto the hip. Now press your heels down, pull your kneecaps up, keep your right thigh back, turn your inner left thigh to the outer left thigh and see if you can bring your left buttocks forward. Move your right shoulder back, move your head back, and then some of you can bring your left hand down to the leg. But don't let your left buttocks go backwards. Keep your right shoulder backwards, lift your head, don't let your head go down, and then you can lift up your top arm. Maybe you're on the chair, or maybe you're on the leg. Keep reaching your arms away from each other, moving the shoulder blades into the back. Now press your outer right foot and come up out of the pose. Excellent. Now turn your left foot in slightly. Bring your hands to the center of your chest and step your left foot in and then step your right leg in. And just take a moment. Now you can have your feet together unless there's any balance issues. So stand in Tadasana, the classic pose. That's it. Lift up through your chest. Just absorb the effects of Uttanasana Trikonasana. The outer shoulders are back. Lift up through the sides of your neck. Okay, very good. Now again, bring your chair in front of you. So it'll be like this. It looks from the front, or from the side, it looks this way. Okay, and then just take your legs, bring your hands to the center of the chest, and then take your right leg out, take your left leg out. So your feet come all the way out under the hands. That's it, go all the way out. Now bring your hands onto the chair. Turn your left foot in a little bit, turn your right leg out, and then bend your right knee and get your right knee to come right over the ankle. So the knee comes right over the ankle. Get your right hip to come down as low as your knee, and see if you can straighten your back left leg. Bring your left shoulder back. Bring that left shoulder back. Lift your chest upwards. Good, and now straighten. Very good. So we'll do that again. So bend the front knee, get the knee right over the ankle. Yes. There you go. Move your left foot further back, Rebecca. So your right knee is right over that ankle. That's it. Yes. Straighten your back left leg and bring your left shoulder back. Don't let your left shoulder come forward. And then some of you can just bring your hands to the hips. Bring your hands to the hips. That's it. And lift your chest. Good. And now straighten the front knee. Bring your hands back to the chair. Or if you want more, you can just keep your hands on the hips. Okay, so one last time. Make sure that your right toes are going to the right. Your right kneecap is going to the right. Bend your knee. Get the knee right over the ankle. Get your hip down. Straighten your back left leg. That's it. Maybe bring your hands to the hips. Or maybe lift your arms out to the sides and be in the classic pose. Yes. Very good, Rebecca. That's it. So get that knee right over that ankle. Lift your chest upwards. Find that evenness. Good. And now straighten the front knee. Very good. Turn your right toes forward and bring your legs together. Stand for a moment in Tadasana. That's it. Okay, let's do the other side. So bring your hands to the center of the chest. Raise the arms up and out. Step your left foot out. Step your right foot out. Okay, and then turn your right foot slightly in. Turn your left leg all the way out. So just like we did before in Trikonasana. Now bring your hands onto the chair or the support. This can even be a wall. You can even come near a wall and have your fingertips at a wall. It works perfectly well. Okay, so now bend your front knee. Bend the front knee. Make sure the knee comes right over the ankle. Don't let your knee come past your ankle. And then get your left hip down as low as your knee. And straighten your back right leg and lift your chest. Bring your right shoulder back. Don't let the right shoulder come forward. Good. Now straighten. Good. And we'll do that again. Inhale, lift your chest upwards. As you exhale, bend your left knee. Get the knee to come right over the ankle. Release your left hip down, but straighten your right leg. Move your right shoulder back. And then some of you bring your hands to the hips. Yes, lift your chest upwards. Nice. And now straighten. That's it. Keep using the chair or keep your hands on the hips. That's up to you. Lift your chest one last time. Bend the knee. Get the knee right over the ankle. Get your left hip down. Straighten your back leg. Maybe keep your hands on the hips or raise your arms out to the sides. That's it. This is Virabhadrasana 2. That's it. So go down with your hips, lift up with your chest, spread your arms out. Nice. Now straighten that front knee. Very good. Turn your left foot in, and then bring your left foot in, and then your right leg in, and stand in Tadasana. Very good. Now just turn this chair around this way. Again, take your feet as wide as the sticky mat, and just rest with your forearms on that chair. It's a pretty vigorous pose, right? Virabhadrasana 2, and all the warrior poses are vigorous poses. That's it. So make sure the feet are at least as wide as the outer hips, or even wider, as wide as the sticky mat will give your hips a lot of space. The heels are wider than the toes. Just rest your head downwards. So there's a sense of resting after that work. Yoga is always a combination of practicing and then letting go. Practice and non-attachment is yoga. Okay, now bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and come on up. Okay, so now keep your chair where it is, and we'll do Parsvottanasana. These are the new Puna shorts. They're wonderful. They just came on. They're wonderful. If you want to get some new Puna shorts for yourself, I'm wearing them, and they're very, very comfortable. They're made of that material that's made from straws from the ocean. It's all recyclable materials. So they're super comfortable. So bring your feet together and then stand in front of your chair. Bring your hands to the hips and then step your right foot forward and step your left leg back. So you have about 4 feet between your feet. Now, make sure that you feel stable here. If you don't, then move your right foot more to the right. So press your heels down. Pull your kneecaps up and bring your left hip forward and your right hip back. That's it. Bring your tailbone forward, lift up through your chest, roll your shoulders back, and then keeping your legs straight, come forward and bring your hands down to the chair. Bring your hands down to the chair seat and lift your chest. That's the way. So with your hands on the chair seat, you can always put more height on the chair seat if you can't reach. So straighten your front right leg and move the right hip back. Straighten your back leg and move the left hip forward. Press into the chair and pull your chest forward. So move the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs like you're moving your hips backwards, especially that right hip. And pull your breastbone forward so the shoulder blades go into the back. Nice. And then bring your hands to the hips and come up and we'll switch. So join your legs together. You can keep your hands on your hips and then step your left leg forward under the chair seat and step your right leg back. At least 4 feet. If you have longer legs, go longer. The back foot is turned out about 45 degrees. So press your heels down, lift up through your kneecaps and move the right hip forward and the left hip back. Now, if you feel wobbly in your balance, make sure to move that left foot further to the left. Otherwise, lift up through the sides of your trunk and then start to come forward and bring your hands down to the chair seat. And then press your heels down again, pull up through your kneecaps, and then steer your left hip back, further back away from the chair, and steer your right hip forward. So the hips are even. And then press your hands into the chair seat, pull your breastbone forward, and bring your shoulder blades in to your back body. So there's a lifting of your chest. Good. Now bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and up you come. Excellent. Okay, now some of you are going to be repeating that. If that felt like it was a lot for you, please repeat. Otherwise, look what I do. I turn this chair around. So I know some of you have different chairs, so you can see. And then watch what I do. When I come into the pose, now, some of you can slide the chair forward. So you'll be in this position. You'll slide the chair forward. So if you can't manage that, you can also just walk your hands forward. You can walk your hands forward on the chair, okay? So we're just gonna come forward, but don't do that if it feels too much, okay? So get ready, turn your chair around if you're gonna do that variation. Bring your hands to the hips, and now step your right leg forward and your left leg back. 4 feet. Make sure to have your feet hip distance. Press your heels down, pull your kneecaps up. Draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. Lift up through the sides of the chest. Good, and then come forward and either bring your hands onto the chair seat or to the back of the chair and then slide the chair forward. So now you're coming forward. That's it. Otherwise, just walk your hands forward if possible. That's the way. Good. Yes, nice. So press your heels down. Keep steering that right hip backwards. Get longer on that right hip backwards. Draw the left hip forwards. Once you have your hands forward, you can bring the head down. That's good, Geraldine. Nice. Stretch that chair forward. That's good, Katrin. Beautiful. Now pull the chair closer to you. Get your balance. Bring your hands to the hips and up you come. Very good. One more time on the other side. So if you have the chair, turn the back of the chair towards you. Otherwise, you can keep the seat of the chair towards you. That's fine. Okay, so bring your hands to the hips and then step your left foot forward and your right leg back. Make your feet hip distance apart widthwise. Straighten your legs, pull your kneecaps up, and steer your right hip forward and your left hip backwards. And then roll your shoulders back, and then come forward. Either bring your hands onto the chair seat or the back of the chair, and then either walk your hands forward or slide the chair forward. And go all the way forward. That's the way. Nice. Push the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. Steer the left hip further back and the right hip further forward. Extend the sides of the trunk. That's it, Marion. Find that space from that outer left hip to that left hand. That's it. And Rebecca, you have to find the space on the other side from the outer right foot to the right hand. Get that right side to lengthen. Nice. Okay, and then pull the chair back or walk your hands back. Excellent. Okay, and then we're going to do the wide-legged pose. So turn the chair again this way. So the seat of the chair will be towards you. And then bring your feet wide apart. So I'm facing the chair, bring your feet wide apart. You can have your heels lined up with the back edge of the mat if you have that ability. Okay, so lift up your arms and make sure that your feet are all the way out under the hands. Good, now bring your hands to the hips. Roll your shoulders back and then come forward and bring your hands onto the chair. Lift your chest. Lift your chest upwards. Now some of you can stay here, others of you can slide the chair forward, or you can walk your hands forward. If you can't move the chair, just walk your hands forward. So now you're forward. That's it. So keep your hips right over your ankles. Make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel. Press your heels down, pull your kneecaps upwards. That's good. Nice. Let your head come down once you're forward. Beautiful. That's great. Okay, and then pull the chair closer to you. Bring your hands to the hips. Reach the chest forward and come up. Good. Now bring your legs back together. Okay, so we'll do that again. Some of you will repeat that. Okay, but watch. Some of you, once you have the chair forward, you can bring your hands down to the floor. You can go all the way down to the floor. You can try that once you have the chair forward, okay? So let's try that. Take your legs wide apart again. Have your heels lined up with the back of the mat. Remember, the heels are a little bit wider than the toes. Move your thighs back, tailbone forward, lift up through your chest, and then come forward and bring your hands down to the chair and stretch the chair forward. Go back to that first position. But some of you can bring your hands down to the floor, maybe on your fingertips. But don't let your hips come forward. Bring your hips, keep your hips right over the ankles. Press your outer heels down. Lift your kneecaps and spread the inner thighs away from each other and lengthen evenly. Good. Marion, more length on that left side, left hip back, left hand forward. Rebecca, more length on the right side, right hand back, right hip back, right hand forward. So maximize that length on that right side. Excellent. Okay, now either pull the chair closer to you, otherwise just walk your hands back under the shoulders. And then you can bring your feet closer together once or twice. Bring your hands to the hips and up you come. Well done. Okay, now let's do a chair twist. So put the chair, the back of the chair will be towards the camera. If you have a block or a bolster, sit on the chair with the right side of your body. going towards the back of the chair. The right side of your body will go towards the back of the chair. That's it. And then bring your block, a foam block, in between your knees. Or you can also, if you have a bolster, you can put a bolster in between your feet and your knees. Okay, so sit evenly. If you find that your knees are higher than your hips, make sure to add some height under the hips, so you don't feel like you're in a bucket seat. So with your hands on your thighs, lift up and find that evenness on both sides of your spine. Okay, and then raise your arms upwards. Turn your palms forwards, lock your thumbs above you, pull on your thumbs and squeeze your upper arms in and lift your rib cage away from your pelvis. Keep the back of the abdomen back. Now inhale, as you exhale, turn to the right, and bring your hands down to the back of the chair. Yes. And pull the chair downwards and then lift up evenly. Notice how this right side gets longer, doesn't it? So can you bring the right ribs in and lengthen the left side of the trunk? That's it. And then roll your shoulders back, and with your left hand, pull on the chair to the left, with your right hand, push. So you can get more leverage. Move the right ribs back. Now lift your chin upwards and move your dorsal spine in. Turn yourself around. That's the way. And then come back to the center, and we'll go to the other side. So have the block or the bolster in between your thighs. Make sure that you're balanced evenly on your two sitting bones there, and that your hips are not lower than your knees. And then raise your arms upwards. Turn your palms forwards, and then lock your thumbs above you. Pull on your thumbs and squeeze your arms in. Inhale, and now exhale, turn to the left. And then bring your hands down to the chair. Good, so keep your knees even. Don't let your right knee get ahead of your left knee. Pull the chair downwards and then lift up evenly through both sides of the trunk. Notice how the left side gets a little bit longer. For Marion, that's not a problem, right? That's okay. So, but lift up through both sides of the trunk, and then turn from the right side to the left side. And when you can't turn anymore, with your right hand, pull on the chair to the right. With your left hand, push. So you're moving those left ribs back. Now lift your chin upwards and move your shoulder blades deeper and deeper into the back. Keep your abdomen drawing back towards the spine. Excellent. And then release, and we'll do the first side again. Now, some of you can repeat that with the block or the bolster in between the legs. Others of you, you can bring your legs all the way together. You can bring your legs all the way together. If your legs don't come easily together, it's better to use that support between your knees or the bolster between your feet and your knees. Okay? So once again, raise your arms upwards, turn your palms forwards, lock your thumbs, pull on your thumbs and squeeze your upper arms in. That's it, knees are together. Now turn, or they're squeezing into the block or the bolster. That's it. Now, when you come down, bring your hands down, bring your left hand more to the center of the chair, somewhere, and then bring your right hand somewhere to the seat of the chair. Now, some of you will just have to be holding onto the knees. It really depends on, what configuration you have, because you can repeat the first one if you can't do this. That's it. So lift up, keep your inner knees pressing into the block or into each other. Lift up through your chest, and now turn. Turn from your abdomen, turn from your ribs. Pull with your left hand to get your left ribs to come around. Try to pull the chair seat up with your right hand, and go ahead and release. And then just notice that warmth that comes from twisting. Doesn't it make you warmer? Makes me warmer. Okay, so go to the other side. Although I had to have my heater on here during this week. Okay, so either have your knees together with a block or have a bolster there. Otherwise, bring your legs all the way together. Bring your legs together, that's it. Now raise your arms upwards, lock your thumbs above you, pull on your thumbs, and first you have to get taller and longer. And some of you have to get taller and longer more on one side than the other side. And then turn, that's it, and then bring your hands down. Start with that first position. Check your knees. Make sure that they're pressing into the block or the bolster, or they're pressing into each other, right? And then lift up tall through the sides of the chest, and then see if you can bring your right hand more to the center of the chair and bring your left hand somewhere further around to the seat of the chair. And then lift up. Don't just turn your head and your neck, turn your abdomen, your tailbone, turn your ribs. That's it. Pull on the chair with the right hand, pull up the chair with the left hand, and turn. Excellent. And now release. And untwist. Feel how you can breathe better after that twist is over. Good. Now turn your chair this way. And then you can have your blocks nearby in front of you. Or you can even have a chair or a bed nearby in front of you. So I'm sitting on the chair, my feet wide. I'll turn this down just a little bit so you can get an even better view. That's it. Okay. So I'm sitting in the center of the chair, my feet are wide, kind of like that lizard stretch that we did. And then I bring my hands onto these blocks and I just walk the blocks forward. Now, some of you, you can be on your fingertips without the blocks. I'll leave that to you. Okay, so make sure that your ankles are directly under the knees. Draw the abdomen back. Once you've gotten your hands forward, either on the blocks or the fingertips, the blocks can also be lower. You can kind of experiment. Then let your head come down. But draw the abdomen to the spine. Lengthen the sides of your trunk. Deepen your breath. And see if you can spread the fibers of your lower back. So it's almost like your abdomen is moving into your lower back, spreading the fibers of your lower back. Very good. Now, bring your hands and the blocks back. And just sit nice and tall. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, now watch. Some of you will repeat that this way, but some of you can bring your hands down in between your feet, release the head down, and even pull the elbows down. So this is more intense, so you can see, okay? So one of those poses. So either bring your hands onto the blocks or the floor, walk your hands forward. That's easier. Otherwise, bring your hands in between your feet, release your head down in any pose, and then maybe some of you hold on to your elbows and pull down. So again, it's gravity. It's like a double lizard, isn't it? It's like the lizard pose times 2. That's it. So remember, having your hands forward is easier. So let your inner hips open. That's it. Spread your lower back. That's the way. Good. I would just walk the hands forward, Rebecca. Walk the hands forward on blocks. Yes. And then walk your hands back. Very good. Walk your hands back. So we'll do that one more time. Watch what I do now. So I'll turn from to the side so you can see. Watch. So now, again, so either this is the easiest with your hands on blocks. This is the second easiest, holding the elbows. But some of you can sit further back in the chair and maybe you can hold on to the legs of the chair. And that's a pose called Karmasana. It's the tortoise pose. Okay, so sit in your chair. Now, if you're going to go further back, you have to sit further back in the chair. So if you have any hesitancy, please just go forward. This is the easiest. I think for Rebecca, have your hands on blocks. You can even have your hands on a table or a bed. You can even do this. Otherwise, hold your elbows between your arms or see if you can reach back and hold the back legs of the chair. That's it. And you're like a tortoise. Relax your head down. Yes, you're like a tortoise going into the shell. Nice. Draw the abdomen back. Beautiful, you guys. Nice. Okay, and then bring your hands forward and come on up. Super good. Okay, now put the chair in front of you this way and sit either on a bolster or some blankets, whatever you started the class with. Sit on a bolster or some blankets. Okay, and we're going to sit in Baddha Konasana. So take your legs wide apart this way. Some of you can just sit on the floor. So make sure that your legs are wide apart. Make sure that your lower back isn't dropping. If you're on blankets, sit towards the front of the blankets. And just bring your hands onto the chair and get that lifting first. Get that lifting. So press the thighs down, make sure the kneecaps are going straight upwards, the toes are going straight upwards. Yes, lift the chest upwards. Okay, and then I'll show a couple different things. Some of you can, if you have the backless chair, you can come and rest your head this way, or you can rest your forearms here, or you can just stay upright. So it depends on what configuration you have. So you can see. As you come forward, don't let your legs roll inwards. Don't let your legs roll inwards. Keep spreading the inner thighs to the inner knees and spread the inner knees to the inner heels. Keep the outer thighs moving down. More flexible folks, of course, you can slide the chair further forward, but don't let your legs roll in. Stabilize the outer thighs down, outer hips down. Release the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. Excellent. And then come back up. And some of you might need to adjust your height as you bring your legs into Baddha Konasana. So now the legs are like this in Baddha Konasana. All right, so you're still facing the chair. So press your heels into each other, spread the inner thighs, and again, bring your hands onto the chair. Press your heels into each other, spread the inner thighs outwards, lift up through your chest. And then again, some of you are just going to stay here. This is fine. Others of you can bring your hands up and rest this way. Others of you can rest with your forearms. Otherwise, stay in the upright position if you have any doubt. Nice, Rebecca, that's it. So press your heels into each other, spread those inner thighs outwards. Think of your outer thighs moving down towards the floor. This is Adho Mukha Baddha Konasana. That's the way. Okay, and then come up. Okay, and then bring your knees back together and stretch your legs forward under the chair. And make sure that you're on the front of the blankets. And you can you have a choice. If you have stiffness in the backs of the legs, the first thing to do is sit higher up, use more height, but you can also have your feet apart. Some of you can have your legs all the way together. I'll leave that up to you. So pull the buttocks flesh back, so you're really on the front of the sitting bones. And then again, you either reach the hands up and rest your head on the front of the chair, or you rest your forearms, just like we've been doing. But make sure that your kneecaps are going straight upwards. Release the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Have your toes going straight upwards. If you have that crossbar on the back of the chair, you have to bring your feet either in front of that or behind that. Keep lifting the sides of the trunk. Bring your sacrum forward. Draw your abdomen back. So there's a connection of the abdomen and the sacrum. Move the inner knees down. The outer hips down, lengthen the inner thighs. This is Parsvottanasana. Good, and then come up. Excellent. Okay, now, just cross your legs once again like we did at the very beginning. Cross your legs, that's it. And then once again, come forward again and just rest. So let the thighs go down. Lengthen the sides of the trunk. Rest your head. Okay, and then come up. And just take a gentle twist to the right side. You can even keep your left hand on the chair. Turn to the right really gently. So we're ending the class as we began the class. Come back to the center and then gently turn to the left. Turn to the left. Good, and then come back to the center. Switch the cross of your legs and come forward again onto the chair. Some of you can come lower. Maybe you can have your arms on a bolster. I'll leave that to you if you'd like to come lower. Keep releasing your breath, releasing your thighs, taking time. Very good. We'll come up, and then once again, gentle twist to the right. Gentle twist to the left. Very good. Now watch what I do. So you'll have to figure it out, whatever you have. If you don't have a chair, you can also just put your legs up on a wall. That's fine. But notice I have my legs on the chair, and I have these blankets under my hips. So of course that can be a bolster, that can be anything. And I'm just in a very mild inversion. If you don't have a chair like this, you can put your legs up onto a wall, that's fine. If you have the chair, make sure the chair comes right up to the back of the knees. If you need another blanket for your head, if your head is falling backwards, take another blanket for your head. So your hips are a little bit higher than your chest. Lengthen the back of the neck, turn your palms upwards. Just relax your legs, relax your arms. Let your hips be supported by the bolster or the blankets. Take off any glasses. And let your legs release out into the chair. Just let go of the legs, let go of the arms. Let go your jaw, let go your tongue. Allow yourself to pause. If you notice, nature is never in a hurry. So slow yourself down to the speed of nature. Nature is not hurrying. See if you can relax. Now those of you with your legs up the wall, just start to slide backwards and then come away from the wall and prepare for Shavasana. Those of you on the chair here, just take the height out under the hips. Just bring the height away from the hips. You can of course put a blanket under your head if you'd like one for Shavasana with chair support. Otherwise you can lie flat on your back and have a bolster under your thighs. You can have a blanket under your head. So lengthen the flesh of your buttocks towards the chair. Lift up your chest away from your pelvis. Lengthen the back of the neck. And then again, let your legs release into the chair. Let your arms release into the floor. Make sure that the forehead is slightly higher than the bridge of your nose. Completely relax your legs now. Let your legs become loose. Completely relax your arms. Make your abdomen soft so that your internal organs recede. And now deeply relax your jaw. Feel that your lower jaw is letting go away from your upper jaw, and your tongue is letting loose away from the roof of your mouth. Let your eyes draw back. Draw your ears inwards. Let your head rest in the space, in the vastness of your own heart. When your mind, which has been tossed about by conflicting opinions and thoughts, becomes still and centered in equilibrium, then you experience yoga. Now bring your hands to your body. Take deeper breaths in, longer breaths out. Start to absorb the effects of your practice. And then go ahead and bend your knees and roll to your side. Come up nice and slowly. And then sit so that your spine is tall and your chest is open. Have your palms upwards. Just close your eyes for a moment. Absorb the effects of your practice and allow the effects of your practice to affect all areas of your life in a positive way. Bring your hands to your heart center. Raise your chest way upwards. Bow your head downwards. Acknowledge yourself for practicing. Namaste, everybody. Have a beautiful Saturday. Peace and blessings to you all. Thank you so much for coming to class today.